Hey everybody, Camp Capital here with a video today on Wednesday, May 12th. So this video is just going to be recapping the whole market. So hopefully it covers a little bit of everything. So today was a huge bloodbath just across about everything. So CPI numbers came out first thing in the morning for inflation numbers, and they were pretty wildly above what was expected. So, if you go SPY here, just like in news, so news came out 5:30, so year is 4.2 versus 3.6 estimate. Core, so that it doesn't have food in it, was 3 to 2.3. So 0.7% difference there. So off by at least 33% there, here 0.6%. So pretty wildly missing it, and you'll see a ton of different things on financial Twitter saying, oh, it's just because where we were at last year, yada yada yada. There's a lot of different opinions on it. My opinion is I think the increase is partially off that difference from last year, but you couple that with everything else that's going on in the world right now with the the gas shortage, with the colonial pipeline scenario, the overall state of things opening back up across the country, unemployment numbers, everything. I think it's kind of a tidal wave of a thing that's not looking great right now economically for the country, and I think the markets are seeing the same from the sell-off. So we just look bottom left right here, SPY. So we're 422 down to 404, so 18 point. So we're down basically 4% just over the last 3 days. And you can say, oh yeah, it's healthy because we SPY. If we just make a quick little look here, we'll go to the bigger thing. We've been up huge for the past year since the pandemic lows, and it's like, yeah, we have, but how much money's actually just been injected by the Fed? The Fed balance sheet's $8 trillion. You couple that, if you basically lay the Fed's balance sheet over the SPY, it basically tracks almost 1-to-1 for the point gain. So how much is it real? How much is not? No one's going to be able to entirely say that. But once these inflation numbers came out this morning, money markets basically said that there's going to be a 100% chance now that interest rates will increase before December 2022. And we're also running into more problems with reverse repo. So finally, I actually found the reverse repo daily chart right here. So this is on St. Louis Fed. So overnight reverse repurchase agreement. So Treasury securities sold by the Federal Reserve in the temporary open market conditions. So this is basically just lending money to banks overnight for there's cover their spot interests. And so you see here, we have the big spike when the pandemic started in March, right? So these repos quickly 210 billion. These are in billions, not millions here too. So we hit a peak. If I can get this to sit on it, right? 284 on Tuesday, March 31st. So here, us last 2 days, on Monday, 129. Tuesday, 181. We talked about it yesterday in the video, and then today, if we can get the cursor up there, or you can see it up here on the top, so I can stop farting around with that. 209 billion in repo overnight, and I think we're just going to expect that number to keep going on up and up and up. So things could get interesting, right? So since we've been following the stock market down 4% since Wednesday, we're going to have some margin calls, right? So a lot of people are going to get margin called, and I think you can see it pretty well right here on the 1 minute chart. This candle right here at 1250, right? So a lot of brokerages, they set their overnight margin requirements, right? You have to be settled by 1250. So if you're holding something and you're over their margin limit, they'll sell whatever instrument you're holding, and you see that in this big push right here in the 1 minute at 1250. So at 1250, we get this move from 405 down to 404. I first thought this was just a mistake with Thinkorswim, and then I looked on Interactive Brokers, same thing, and so you got the push down, and then you see massive volume at the end of the day, right? So 3 million shares trading right at the end of the day. Algos trying to take over. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that repo number go up quite a bit overnight, as institutions look to get capital to not have to sell their positions. That could affect different stocks that are heavily shorted, like AMC, It was up today, just on the 1 minute chart. All right, AMC gets a close over 1030, 1032, put a high at 1063. So if we go out to daily, right, I've talked about other videos, we got the triangle, we bounced off this side of the triangle, and then now we're back above the previous line of support. Closed above it yesterday, stayed above it today, so we might see some more upside there in AMC. If we go look at just overall, right, we've been talking about Tesla a ton. So Tesla closed lower on the day. There also news came out for Tesla that their autopilot feature probably going to be delayed or take several months to implement. So sends us lower, closed at 590. That's probably the first day Tesla's closed over 600 in about over a month. Well, longer than that, right? So the last time was actually here when we closed under on March 8th, so 2 months. So next line of defense here for Tesla is going to be this 200 EMA. You see we pushed higher, couldn't get above that standard D level, and you also have the whole dollar mark there, 620, acting as resistance, and the close from yesterday sends us lower. So I think the next target for Tesla is going to be this 580 level, this 200 EMA on the daily side of things. And as you see now, right, so right where we were today, we put in a lot of volume. The 600, the 695 area has been a bounce spot before, right? So hammer, big engulfing candle, put us on that last run. Couldn't hold this time, and so we'll look to see if the 580 level holds for Tesla. The other EV stocks, NIO, XPEV, were down today. NIO down 3.4, XPEV down 0.6. XPEV was actually up for a little while. Li, the other Chinese, I guess you call it brethren or fellow competitor, they were actually green today, up 4.5%. But from everything here on the left, massive red day. All your text Fubo is up on earnings. But other than that, you just have these are reverse ETFs. Versus Nasdaq, VIX. We can look at the VIX chart too, because that's pretty interesting as well. Massive breakout there. All your text, Palantir, which is up or was down big yesterday on its earnings, fell back down today. All your wheat stocks, not green, very, very red, down 7, 4, and 5%. And then cryptos, Riot, Mara, down 11%, back into the 20s, right? So they were back up at $60, $50 just a couple weeks ago. So cryptos are getting hammered. So we'll look to see how long this will last. And then lastly, like I said, we'll just look at VIX right here. So VIX had this massive breakout. This is one where if you want to zoom out a long time, right, they kind of have it has basically done these little triangle patterns, right, each time, and then had a big breakout. So here, if we go off that one, you can say we're getting pretty close to breaking out of this triangle. More of these triangles are kind of symmetric on the bottom, but each time the kind of down slope, excuse me, broke out, we got a big move, and with a long wick. So when things do move, it does happen pretty quickly. These are monthly time frames, and May typically is not a big or a great return month for the stock market, so things could get pretty hairy coming up. So the next thing to look at really are going to be retail numbers. I think those come out Friday morning, so we'll just have to wait and see how the market responds. For me, I'm still going to be short biased most stocks unless we can get a bounce level. I think like on the SPY, let's go back to the 5 minute, just where we were at, that 404 level is going to be a good area to risk overnight and for tomorrow, right? So if we can't get below 404 tomorrow in pre-market, might look for a bounce. So we've had a big dip, so look for that dip to get bought. 404 holds. If 404 fails, look for more downside. So that's what I got for you guys in this video. Hope you got something out of it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about what you think can happen in the upcoming weeks, months, for the stock market in general and the nation's economy. So appreciate you taking time to watch the video. We'll see you in the next one.